Okay guys, guess what time it is? It's time to go outside, but we're not going in my backyard. Right now we are going to the pond. You know why? Because it just rained. And guess who likes to come out after it just rains? That's right. Amphibians. Also, I brought this jar also to hold the amphibians. Or, tasty treat. Obviously for Cypress, not for me. For no one to find there. Also, I brought an umbrella because there's really thunder and lightning going on, like, on the edges of, there's really a thunderstorm nearby, so gotta make this quick. But also gotta wait for these cars to pass. Okay, so, what I was thinking about, topic of today, transitioning, specifically, right, gender affirming transition. There's a lot of components of it, and people get confused, like, what do you change? It's just surgical, or social? Well, actually, there's many components to it, right? I mean, the first one, so, I think, three big components to it. Wait for this car to pass. So, three big components of transitioning, specifically transitioning your gender, right? Technically, you don't really transition your gender, you just whatever. Gender affirming transitions, right? First is social, then next is hormonal, and then third is surgical. And usually when people do these things, they do them in that order. So first is social. It's probably the easiest kind. All you do, right, it involves how you present with your, just appearance-wise with your clothes, specifically, right? Things you could easily, reverse, right? Yeah, you change your name, you change your pronouns, you change your, obviously clothes, you change your hairstyle, right? You change maybe some of your interests, but it's basically the first step, right? You get people to recognize, your preferred gender. You establish your pronoun. It's right. Especially young people, kids and teenagers, when they're first transitioning, that's what they start out with. And usually, I think specifically with young kids, it stops it there. Right, because socially transitioning is the most reversible, so it does, the less damage, and that's what usually, right, the younger you are, right, young kids, young kids, they can hardly get even hormonal surgery, or not surgery, hormonal treatment, but no one under the age of 18 is getting anything surgical. And of course, right, we're getting on to hormonal, which is also called hormone replacement therapy. It's basically when you, right, when everyone's born, or not born, right, when everyone goes to puberty, you either have, just your androgens, or your your male hormones and your female hormones. And the goal of hormone replacement therapy is, right, if you have male hormones and you want to transition to female, right, you replace them with estrogens and other female hormones, and vice versa with male hormones. Because, right, obviously hormones, right, during puberty, they dictate a lot about car coming. They dictate a lot about, right, they dictate a lot more than, right, which is, obviously facial hair, they dictate, where the breasts come in. I know, right, people, trans women, right, they get a lot of, when they start estrogen, little baby tits will come in, obviously a lot of hair growth, your smell, they dictate, whether you stink or not, and what you smell like, right? And specifically for people transitioning to, or masculinizing, right, feminine to masculine, right, hormones, they do a lot. Let's just say it's way easier to masculinize than it is to feminize, right, because masculine hormones, they change your, they give you facial hair, they change your voice, muscle mass, just hair everywhere. Even your asshole will get hair. A lot of them get a lot of them get butt hair before they ever get facial hair, which sucks. But like, I mean, I don't know, somewhat affirming. And so that's usually the second step. Now, some teenagers can get hormone replacement therapy, but what usually happens is this thing especially if it's younger, if they haven't got through puberty, they're expressing extreme discontent with their birth sex, or they have gender dysphoria, in which they don't feel connection with the gender assigned at birth, right? And especially younger prepubescent, they'll go on, or pubescent, they'll go on this thing called puberty blockers, which basically delays puberty. And fortunately, puberty blockers are another thing. It's like kind of like social transition, but medically induced, so not as reversible. But it's still you can go through puberty if you actually what, hey, I don't really want to transition anymore. I think I'm fine with my birth gender. So they could easily just stop and and go through their normal puberty, right? And of course, the third option, which is not really, is very is like the last step, and sometimes optional. Not every trans person wants to do this, but it's the surgical, right? It's a surgical transition, right? So, damn, no frogs today. I found a toad earlier at work today, and of course I had to remove it because, like I said, I work with dogs, so they lick that shit and they get poisoned. But anyways, surgical transition, right, is usually the changing of your usually like chest and genitalia, changing that to be more desirable, more like to the opposite sex you were born as, right? Because the thing about sex, or specifically what your sex, right, biological sex, it's not just as simple as like, chromosomes and genitalia, right? There's a hell of a lot more components to finally, first fucking frog of the evening. So like I said, right, it's a lot more than just, adios. Sear to the pond. There's a lot more than just, what chromosomes are you born as? Or do you have a penis or vagina? No, it's like, there's, right, so first, obviously, chromosomes, and another frog. So first, obviously, you have the chromosomes, which, most everyone knows, XX, female, XY, male, but those are just, like, they tell you when you're, like what hormones you'll release, and what you're gonna have a penis or vagina or whatever. And, and of course, you can't, I don't think you can change your chromosomes, but, like, who the hell even cares about chromosomes, right? Like, if you could change, right, it's like if you could change your hormone, if you could change your hormones and, your visible genitalia, or, just your gender identity, then who the hell cares what your pronouns are, or not pronouns, chromosomes are. And sometimes, chromosomes, they fuck up a lot, right? Androgen insensitivity syndrome, right? It's more commonly known like XY female, right? It's where your body is insensitive to the androgens that would normally make a male human, and you instead develop as a female human. So you don't have a uterus, but you do have, a vagina, internal testicles, and you develop breasts, right? Because those androgens get converted into estrogens, but you still have XY chromosomes. So it's like, well, I mean, usually like everything is male. If there's a Y added to it, then it's male. But like, unless it has a vagina, I guess. And then of course I think there's XX males, but XY females are more popular, I guess, more documented. And then of course, don't get me started with Klinefelter syndrome, Turner syndrome. It's intersex disorders that go specifically with chromosomes. And then another component to sex, hormones, obviously, androgens, estrogens, right, like what you grow, what you, all that funny stuff, facial hair, if you smell like onions or moldy cheese. I heard that somewhere, males smell like moldy cheese, females smell like onions. Living with a sister, definitely smelled fucking garlicky all the time. Let's get this frog. Oh, adios. But, and then of course, genitalia is another part of sex. So, shit, yeah, it's raining now, so I gotta pull up the umbrella. And there's yet another frog. 75, yeah, finally we're getting all the frogs, but, yeah, genitalia, penis or vagina, testicle, or, testicles, or what the fuck, ovaries, right? I know what ovaries are called. I know ovaries, guys. I know my sex. Oh, there she goes. And and also there's like primary sex characteristics, which usually your genitalia down there, right, penis or vagina, and then secondary sex characteristics, usually like got the chest and stuff, and also like a lot of induced hormonal